I'm ready. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. اللهم اهدنا فيمن هديت وعافنا فيمن عافيت وتولنا فيمن توليت وبارك لنا فيما أعطيت وقنا شر ما قضيت فإنك تقضي ولا يقضى عليك إنه لا يذل من واليت ولا يعز من عاديت تباركت ربنا وتعاليت فلك الحمد على ما قضيت نستغفرك اللهم ونتوب إليك وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وأتباعه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين. We have been studying the beautiful story and very, very um, beneficial for our practical life, how to practice our belief in practical life. They are full of guides for us. So we have to be careful here while we are studying any story of the prophets, not to lose ourselves in their story type, to try to make the gaps that the Quran doesn't mention in order to have a whole set of the story. So it is not at all important, the story. It is our life story, if you like. So whatever is mentioned in the Quran means that is the point I have to pay attention to and I have to take my guidance from. This is the way of the Quran to teach us actually how to live in this world, how to guide our life in this world, rather than teaching us what happened in the past. It is ridiculous to expect from God to teach us the history, what happened in the past, as if we are very curious what happened to the prophets in the past. But these are presented us, if you are careful, in the form of prophetic examples, which we call it Sunnah. To follow the tradition of a practice of a prophet is Sunnah. That is what Sunnah is all about. But particularly the Sunnah of the Prophet Muhammad in this age, yes. But these are of different nature. The stories of the prophets in the past mentioned gives us the very general guideline of our behavior, our understanding, shaping our feelings, understandings of what worship is. Whereas, in particular, to the practice of the Prophet Muhammad in this age, is the guidance, including all the previous ones I mentioned about the general guidance of the teachings of the prophetic examples mentioned in the Quran. But the particular case of the Prophet Muhammad, the messenger of God, which is sent for our century, we get a plus guidance from him. What is that? Not only how we should shape our understanding of the fundamentals of belief, that is one. Two, how we are going to shape our moral qualities, ethical qualities, which we call in this class usually the psychological analysis of human beings, human feelings, practical, and including all these practical actions, how to do certain things in certain circumstances, living conditions. Three layers of teachings we should follow in the legacy of the prophetic life. For example, I'm sure everybody wonders about the life of the Prophet Muhammad, which is called Sirah narrations. We have to bear in mind in the Sirah narrations that the prophetic life is mainly concentrated on events, especially the events which is worth recording. It's a very careful. Events which is worth recording, is like chronicles. For example, there are many things happening in the world. No one reports it on the news lines or on media, but only the ones who are more attractive and interests common people's uh, interest area, falls into common people's interest area. Let's say there was an earthquake somewhere and the people killed 20 people somewhere here, especially in America. Mass murder is very fashionable, unfortunately. Unfortunately. So people go crazy and do something, and then it becomes a news. But we have to be very careful. These kind of things are recorded in Sirah books, but they are in fact not Sunnah, legacy of the Prophet. We have to be very, very careful about this point. They don't constitute of Sunnah at all. I'm very brave to say this. People think that when I read the Sirah, I will learn the Sunnah, the prophetic tradition that we have inherited in order to follow in our life. You cannot follow in your life what happened in the war better. You cannot follow in your life what happened when the prophet was attacked by people and he fled to Medina. Can you fled to Medina? And the prophet says the hijrah, it means um, immigration from Mecca to Medina is ended. Now, it doesn't mean that the whole immigration, which is called hijrah, is cancelled. No, only from Mecca to Medina is now ended because Mecca was conquered. Now, there's no point to immigrate in order to run away from the pressure of the unbelievers and get into the safe place where the Muslims are feeling safe. Believers are feeling safe. But hijrah in general is always valid. But we cannot make hijrah from Mecca to Medina anymore anyways. What is the point in mentioning it? It is just an historical event. But it is good in the hands of the hadith professionals, experts, in order to locate which hadith was said where, in which conditions, then accordingly they will drive legal issues about it. It is not my job, it is not your job either. Yeah, none of us are is the professional in fiqh matters. I don't think so. So it is a very difficult subject, and we have to be working on it for how many decades. It is a big subject, so it is beyond our capacity for the moment. But some special people may be interested in it. So we have to be careful. It is good for the hadith experts, but it is not useful at all for me to follow the prophetic examples mentioned in Sirah books. because I'm not reading the chronicles of the prophetic life or the life of the prophet. We have to be careful there. But what am I going to do that? And I have to pay attention in hadith narrations or other sort of narrations by the companions or the followers of the companions, as as the people who have been educated under the observations and surveillance of the prophetic life, so that they have gained some sort of ethical values in their life. These are the things that we need. These are the things that are not mentioned in Sirah books. History, forget about it. History is mostly made up stories. But Sirah books are trying somehow to be loyal to the narrations, real narrations, authentic narrations, but mostly they are also influenced by the historical narrations. If you study it, I don't mean you should never study history or the life or biography of the Prophet Muhammad, but be careful, you cannot learn Sunnah there. Sunnah means the tradition of the way of life the prophet. So in hadith narrations, where the ethical values are mentioned in a very specific relationship of the prophet with a simple ordinary man. Simple ordinary man. For example, prophet sent a letter to the king of a Roman king, for example. Are you going to send a letter to a Roman king? No. But what you are going to do, you have to take notice of spreading the truth of the Quran that you learned from the Quran to other people as much as you can. Not to the king of an emperor of a country, but to your neighbor, to your friend, to your brother, sister, your family members, relatives, your colleagues. So you have to see it in practical terms in the life of the prophet, how he advises people, how he treats ordinary people, how he answers people's questions. Now, this is the third aspect of the Prophet Muhammad's mission, the messenger of God's mission. But on the other hand, the Quran narrates the prophetic life stories, if you like. I wouldn't say life stories, but that is how it is called nowadays. The story of Moses, story of something. So prophetic stories, they call it. So I follow the fashion and say, okay, I would call it story as well, but they are the principles of how to behave in the society, for example, especially against the people who opposes my ideas, my way of life, and they want to destroy it. They don't listen to the truth, which kind of attitude I should take, etc. That is why we are studying the story of the prophets mentioned in the Quran in order to get ethical guidance, in order to get and guidance for my life, practical life. So I will get the general attitude presented there and apply it to my practical life, but not like the guidance I will get from Prophet Muhammad's personal relationship with the people around him, whether believers or non-believers. So we have to make the distinction between two traditions of the prophets in the history, then in the Quran, mentioned in the Quran, historically mentioned in the Quran, but my relationship with the Prophet Muhammad's lifestyle is narrated in hadith collections as much as I am aware of them. In other aspect is very difficult to mention for me, but I have to say it. We have to put it through the, if you like, the how do you say, through this through Steve or strainer, if you like. If it is the right way, do you see what I mean? Strainer, to pour the water so that something is not really um, uh, wanted. They stay up on top of the strainer, and what we want to juice goes there down. So we have to strain them through the criteria we learned from the Quran. That is why hadith narrations should be read after somehow having a general understanding of the Quranic values, Quranic principles. And then you can study the hadith, and then you see how the political situations in the course of time after the death of the Prophet affected the hadith narrations. That is why scholars keep mentioning that authentic hadith, authentic hadith. Why do they say this? I mean, whether they have the right criterion or not, it depends on them. I trust them, they are good people, but I would rather study the Quran first, get a general understanding of the values of the Quran, because we don't have time to go into the details. Mostly we are busy with other things, our professions, family responsibilities, etc., etc. So we have many things to take care of. But at this general view, and see whether this narration really fits, as much as I know, general values presented in the Quran to me. So if something is dubious, leave it, because don't say it is a fabricated hadith. It is a very big responsibility to claim that a hadith is fabricated, but may be affected by the, if you like, wind of the political trend after the death of the Prophet Muhammad والسلام. Take it into consideration and leave it there. We are not experts. I'm not an expert. So I don't decide whether it's fabricated, it is not authentic. When I study hadith, which I study heavily, thank God, which, I mean, it is difficult to study hadith nowadays, by the way. So I say, okay, this didn't really fit. All right, leave it, according to my understanding of the teachings of the Quran, and leave it aside. Anyways, now we will study. I went into the subject a bit more than needed within the context that we are studying. Now, what happened? We are taking the lesson from the behavior of Moses before Pharaoh. Yeah. So Pharaoh challenged Moses and Aaron. Aaron and Moses were together in the presence of Pharaoh. But Pharaoh does not recognize Aaron at all. Why? We will see why. So Aaron belongs to the children of Israel, which is the slave tribe. Slave altogether. Everybody belonging to that tribe is slave. So Aaron is Moses' brother, but Moses was grown up in the palace. Aaron wasn't. So Aaron is slave, but Moses is somehow elevated status-wise as compared to other people of the children of Israel. So he is acknowledged, but Aaron is not acknowledged by Pharaoh. So Pharaoh addresses Moses directly. Yeah. So he says, "Yeah, Musa," as if there is nobody else next to him, although both of them are present there. And Moses came with his brother there and said, we, both of us came to present this message. So he said, "Oh, that is my Rab, is Rabbul Alameen." It means obvious that the Lord of the worlds, okay? And said, "Qala Fir'aun ma Rabbul Alameen." What are they talking about, this Rabbul Alameen? What is it? What is it? Not who is it? What is it? So because he thinks that he's a conscious being, he is the Lord of Egypt, so he doesn't acknowledge something else at all, somebody else as superior over him, so he doesn't accept it. We mentioned that. And Moses replied that it is the Lord of the Samawat and earth, and in between, in the heavens and earth, or sky and earth, and in between, whatever it is. And the last verse on the screen, which says, Pharaoh said to those present, "Do you hear what he says? What? He's crazy guy. What is he talking about?" In a sarcastic way. That's what we mentioned last week. Now, although Pharaoh was sarcastic, trying to digress the subject, but be careful, Moses is very strict in conveying the message by avoiding the contradiction, no, quarrelsome argument. Are you sarcastic with me? I am a serious person. I came here to deliver you a serious subject. No. Moses honorably ignores Pharaoh's attitude. Look at the lesson here. Honorably ignores Pharaoh's sarcasm. It is the lesson we are going to learn. If someone speaks, what did you say? Islam, this terrorist religion? No, it is not a terrorist religion. It is a peaceful religion. Islam means peace. No. Don't panic. Calm down. Because Moses prayed before going to Pharaoh's palace. It says, Rabbi shrah li sadri, expand my chest. It means make me feel comfortable, serene in my life, in my feelings. So I shouldn't be, because Moses is a tempered man, gets angry like me suddenly. So he asked Allah for help to give him a peaceful attitude, just calm attitude. So he keeps saying, that Moses is speaking now, look at the way Moses speaks now. Then the Moses continued, he is your Lord. Your Lord. Why does he use your in plural? Not you, Moses. Sorry, you, Pharaoh, that is your Lord. No. Because the people, the counselors there, they're also being addressed. everybody. It means Moses is hinting that everybody is equal in the eye of the Lord of the skies and the earth. So I don't address you, Pharaoh, alone. I address everybody here. Rabbukum, not Rabbuke. Rabbu abaukum. That is another lesson here. When he uses the plural form, you, it is the claim that everybody is equal. You are not a distinct person among the others. Everybody is equal. And also, another lesson here, وَرَبُّ آبَائِكُمُ الْأَوَّلِينَ. Why? It means he is your Lord and the Lord of your ancestors. Why? Because the people usually think that we are the products of our ancestors. So my father is the father and mother are the cause of my life. But Moses hinting and saying it clearly that not only your Lord, he is the Lord of the cause of your life. Do you understand that? It means not only you, but the cause of your existence. What is that? So anything happens in the world, not only the thing is created by God, but the one who appears to be the cause of its existence, they call it in science, cause and effect, cause and effect. And I keep saying in this class, there is no cause and effect in the in relationship. There is an order. Order is not cause and effect. Order is sequence of the creation. A moment ago, there was another creation. Now there is another creation. So creation, act of creation. But the order seems to be following a chain of effect, or cause, cause, cause. So if I am caused by my father, I am an effect. How can I be a cause again? Because I need to be caused by myself. If I need to be caused by for my existence, how can I be a cause to another thing's existence, for the existence of another object, another thing? So everything is effect in this world. I keep saying this. It is essential. It is very important. It is very difficult to grasp it because our minds are conditioned, if you like, we are all brainwashed to see the things happening, coming into existence in cause and effect relationship. That is the disease of this century. That is the disease, if you like, virus spread by science, that so-called scientific interpretations by the people who call themselves scientists, but they are not scientists in this sense. They are interpreting the science data according to their philosophy, their understanding of existence. We have to make distinction between science and scientism. Scientism is a philosophy. Science is just studying how the things appear to come into existence within the order of the universe in order to discover the mysteries, if you like, or the qualities hidden in this order of creation. That is important to notice. So without being asked, Moses says, and he is your Lord, as well as the Lord of your ancestors. It means You are created individually. You are responsible for your life individually. Your parents was created individually, and they were responsible for their own life. You cannot follow your father's parents' tradition at all. You are not responsible for their lifestyle. You have to make up your own life. You have to make up your own mind in order to conduct how to live in this world. You have to learn it. So, what do you think the Pharaoh has to say in the counter argument? Nothing. He wouldn't say, no, no, I am creating. My father has created me, and I am a created being. Now I am creating. It doesn't make sense. If you are in need of being created, you cannot create anything. You are already needy. If you were able to create something, you would be creating yourself. You would be able to create yourself. You wouldn't need your parents. It is obvious contradiction. So it is very interesting to notice he doesn't have anything to say against Moses' presentation of his message. He says, "Vale, inna rasulakum alladhi ursila ilaykum lamajnun." Look at the answer. Look at the answer. That's what they do. Pharaoh exclaimed, "Behold, this your apostle," in quote unquote, apostle, claims to be the apostle, "has been sent unto you, is indeed a madman." Now, what happens in our society? When you say Islam is the religion of Tawhid, which is very famous word, and absoluteness of God, man, absoluteness of God, Tawhid means. So he didn't have an answer to say, but he just claimed or accused again a madman, just in order to belittle his value in the eyes of his counselors. That is interesting. And what the answer of Moses is, very careful. I am not a Majnun. I know what I am saying. I am employed by God. No, 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 nothing. No, nowadays, I would say that nowadays, what's happening? You say, Islam is the religion of Tawheed. Quran teaches Tawheed. It means there is no creator on earth in the universe at all. There is nothing in the universe has the quality to create or the ability to create, to give existence to anything, including itself. It says, okay, that's what the Quran says, you say. It says, okay, how about women's right? Don't the Quran, doesn't the Quran say that the man can beat up his wife? Look at the answer. Look at the digression. And the Muslims, why do you think the Muslim countries are all backward? Of course, they forget about colonizations, they forget about the war, that the Muslims cannot kill anyone they like. I mean, there are lots of war conditions in Islam, so they cannot really do what the pagans or the European or other pagans did in history. Or that there were some mistakes, of course, done by Muslim, so-called Muslim kings, but we don't take the kings' examples as Islamic activity. They are kings like European kings, but they are Muslims. They claim to be Muslim, etc. But that's the trick. I mean, if someone is a Muslim, how can he say that I was born into a family, I deserve to be a king, and I am automatically your ruler? If you believe in God, how can you say that? If someone sits on the throne of a king, king throne, it means he is automatically saying that I'm not going to practice Islam. Although I may be an, I don't know, friend of God or very devoted Muslim, forget about all this. Your own status, claim of status, is unethical according to Islam anyways. It means the foundations of your claim is unethical according to Islam. It means not right, non-Islamic. How can I listen to you? How can I justify you as the person representing Islam and what you did? Also, Islam is responsible for your actions. No, I deny it. I have nothing to do with the kings did, but Islam, look at the Quran and see it bases all it is belief system on Tawhid. Let's start from Tawhid. What do you say about Tawhid? He will say, yes, but you know, the Muslim countries are, all the Muslims seem to be terrorists. Every terrorist action, you just find out a person who belongs to a Muslim community. All these accusations may be justifiable as you look at the Muslims, the situation of the Muslims in the world nowadays. But although we have to be cautious about it, because historically the Muslim countries were completely under the domain or how do you say, control of the powerful colonialist people, using machine guns against poor people, killing most of the people. How can you say that, for example, come to a country, may it be Australia and New Zealand and America, North, South, whatever, killing the natives and saying that I have a rich country now. Oh, do you think the Quran allows this? Kill a man and say that this house belongs to me now. I have a wonderful house. Where is the owner? But he's dead. You know, I inherited it. I got it now. Like this. Would you like somebody to come and kill you and get the house property and then say, okay, your children can stay here under my ownership? Okay, I can give them a corner in the house. And what are you expecting from this state? What are you expecting from these children under the control of these ruthless people? We have to be careful. We should not forget that 30-something years, 100 years ago, this land had some inhabitants. Where are they? Where are they? Why they disappear? We have to be careful. And then say that, you know, these Native Americans, they are wild. They are all drug addicted people. Yeah, you are right. You are right. They are all, almost. They are living in a conservation, as if they are conserved like conserving animal life or something like that. Yeah, areas. So they are mostly addicted to drug, on any kind of. Okay, that's the fact. Yes, mostly yes. Now, do you think these natives are bad people? Who are the bad people? We have to question it. We have to question it. Okay. Come back. The digression. This is Pharaohic attitude. Pharaohic attitude. Well, when you present the truth, they go into another subject which is completely irrelevant to what you said. Okay, we have to be very careful. Now, 28. قال Musa said, رب المشرق والمغرب وما بينهما إن كنتم تعقلون. Look, Moses went on, carried on his message. Lord of the East and the West and everything between them. If you would only use your reason, think about it. What I'm saying, think about it. If it doesn't make sense, just tell me. What you say doesn't make sense. It contradicts logical reasoning. Tell me, why Moses goes from Rabbul Alameen into the subject of Mashriq and Maghrib. It means the East and the West. Why? Be careful. Rabbul Alameen, although it includes in it the whole world, time and space, but people who are not accustomed with the reasoning of the Quranic teaching, they see Rabbus Samawati wal Ard as the Lord of the skies and heaven, as a static being. Look at the universe. It's a static existence there. Look at the universe as a static, don't forget. And by mentioning the Rabbul, the Lord of the East and West, Moses is bringing into attention of the people, audience, not necessarily only Pharaoh. Don't forget the counselors are there. From time to time, Pharaoh also refers to the counselors. So it's say that look at this man, what he says. Yep. So we have to pay attention the need of whole audience, not only one person. Then Moses is very careful about it, and also brings the time dimension of the creation. It means Mashriq and the East and the West means when sun sets, where sun rises. What does it mean? Change of day. The things are continuously changing. And he is the one who creates the whole universe in a changing situation, and there is no contradiction. There is nothing wrong going on, although it is continuously changing. It is perfectly under the control of the one who gave existence to it, who gives existence to it. So not only static universe, but from the beginning to the end of the existence of the universe, he is the one who arranges, controls, sustains, and takes care of, maintains the whole existence of the universe by continuously changing it. And this change is also taking place within an order. Now, two dimensions of the order now. Order in the static dimension of the word, space dimension of the word, order in the dynamic dimension of the word. It's a dynamic dimension, time-wise. We see it as time. But as the creator, obviously, if the creator must be an absolute being, for him there is no static, there is no dynamic dimension of creation. There is whole creation. That is how the creation should be. That's it. That's how the Quran presents. God said, be and it is, it means will, to exist a universe existing from the beginning, billions of years or before and after. It doesn't matter really for an absolute being. So it is his will that the universe should be in this way, organized in this way. That's it. Now, if you think whether it is a matter of concern for you, And then Pharaoh is answering. Look at how logical consistency you see in Pharaoh's answer. That is every time happens this one. Look, when you say to the people of this time that they claim to not really believe in God or something, God or anything divine, they do the same thing. Oh, but look at the universe is working by itself. Don't you see? Look, it is working by itself. How do you say that we need a God? Where is God? Come on, show me. Look at the digression again. God show you. God is the one who created the universe. Who creates the universe? How can I show the creator within the universe? Don't be ridiculous, man. This is a logical conclusion. So what the Pharaoh says, but Pharaoh said to him, if you choose to worship any deity other than me, I shall most certainly throw you in prison, into prison. What? What? This is the answer? Even the children laugh at it. Look at the most powerful man who claimed to be the king of the most powerful empire of the time. How belittled, diminished his quality. He is so weak in argument in his claim, so that he just goes and takes up the power and threatens the man who speaks truth to him. He has nothing to say against him. He said, I'm going to put you in prison if you worship any deity other than me. قال لئن اتخذت إلها غيري. Look at لئن اتخذت, singular. If you take, you, singular, not اتخذتم, اتخذت. It is very interesting. Still speaking to Moses, ignoring Aaron. It is important. You will see how it is important, inshallah, in the following verses. Any ilah, any deity other than me, لأجعلنك من المسجونين, who are imprisoned. It means I'm going to throw you into prison. You understand the attitude of the helpless atheistic idea who claim to own himself, who or any scientist claim, any scientist, not all scientists, if a scientist claim that the universe exists by itself, the universe is eternal in itself, all these answers are, they cannot show any quality to create in any of the pieces of the universe as much as they know. Any comment so far? Let me see. In the chat box? No. I see. Okay.
So I'm curious to know about your point. Why is Aaron ignored? Like you're saying, you keep saying that.
Yeah, we will come. Now, why? Because he's a slave. Do you think the Pharaoh is the king who's going to have in his presence a slave and speak to him, respond to him, acknowledge his presence? He doesn't even acknowledge his existence. That is arrogance. Don't you see in some Pharaohic people around you, if they see some other poor guys or homeless people in the city, they just turn away. They don't acknowledge their existence. Some, not all people, no, but some people, they don't just come and speak to them. It is a matter of state. Yeah. Anyone? Okay. I heard voice. That's why I stopped. Okay. Is it okay? All right.
Okay on my side.
Sorry?
It's good on my side.
Okay, thank you. So Moses said, قال أَوَلَمْ جِئْتُكَ بِشَيْءٍ مُبِينٍ. Now Moses said, even if I bring to you clear evidence, look at the threat to put into prison, and Moses doesn't say, yes, of course, you don't have anything to say against my presentation, my message. So you threaten me with your power only. This is what it is a self-evident case that you are defeated. It means you have no right to claim for being the Rab of this land, right? No competition, no quarrelsome attitude. Keeps presenting his message. That is the very excellent example for us. For example, if you disagree with your mom, with your father, with your brothers, with your colleague and boss, etc., don't quarrel. Just calmly keep repeating the truth, bringing another evidence, presenting it to these people, and do not get excited, emotionally charged. No, calmness. I'm saying this to myself first. I know my nature. So even Moses, you know that he's very temperate man, that you know that in the examples in history. So he is so calm in conveying the message. So if Moses could be as calm as it is presented here, of course, it is an example for us. So you could be as well. I can be as well. Calm. Just keep my point straight away, present it to those people who listen, who want to use their reasoning. Otherwise, I cannot spend my time for the stupid, obstinate people coming to me and speaking to me with their biased ideas, attitudes, political argumentations. I wouldn't spend a minute to take into consideration what they say to me. Just ignore it. Just ignore it. Then you will be winner. Don't worry. Not because of the power of your message only, but because of the help of your God, Allah. Why? God says, okay, this guy is presenting the truth, my message, in the right way. It is worth defending it. So it is up to God to defend you. But you don't know how, but he really does. If only you present the truth as it is, in a true, right way. So the message must be true, and the method of conveying the message must also be true in order to receive the help of God. That two conditions. We should digest the truth comfortably, even it is at a very simple level, but at the same time, we should present our even simple argument, simple understanding of the truth at a simple level, doesn't matter, but in a right method, in a right way. So you cannot say that I am telling the truth. My father, my mother, you don't listen to me. I am reciting you the verse. You just come up with your tradition, which is the case in America among the Muslim community anyways. The quarrel between generations in very hot, very competitive, very accusative, accusing each other. No. Calm. Just keep conveying the message. Allah will help you. Trust in Allah. And then leave your trust in Allah. Inshallah. Now, Moses says, even if I bring to you clear evidence, and Pharaoh is panicking now, but be careful. He is hiding his panic. He says, show it then. فَأْتِ بِهِ إِن كُنْتَ مِنَ الصَّادِقِينَ. Show it then, said Pharaoh, if you are telling the truth. It means, come on, you cannot have a truth. Although he was defeated already from the truth previously Moses presented to them, to him and them, but he did not have anything to say against it, and he just digressed the subject and changed the direction of the discussion, started accusing him and blaming him, and also threatening him that he would put him in prison. So show it then, as if now he says, okay, you can't, come on, you can't, because there are counselors there. Although deep down he knows. And we will see that. Thereupon Moses threw down his staff. فألقى عصاه فإذا هي ثعبان مبين. And it threw down his staff, and suddenly, unexpectedly, it was a serpent. Huge. How does it go? Thailand? Or the biggest snake? What? Typhoon, or I don't know, something like this. And a big snake. Oh, everywhere. So,
Python.
sorry?
Python, you mean? The word
Typhoon?
Python.
Say it
Python.
again.
P-Y, Python.
Python, yes, that's right. I think so. Anyway, Sa'ban Mubin. Anyway, whatever it is, there are many names for a snake in Arabic, but not the specific of it. I didn't pay attention to that side of it, because something really, a snake which really threatens them. Plainly visible, it means to the huge one. Will be huge one. No one can doubt about it. It doesn't appear to be the staff, Moses' staff, doesn't appear to be a snake in its size. No. Definitely it's not a magic. Oh, something like that. And of course, he continued demonstrating his miracles now. We have to bear in mind that these miracles are taught by God to Moses when he met him in Mount Sinai. First, when God addressed him, he said, throw your stuff. We studied this, do you remember? And it became, and again, a snake, huge snake. And then take your hand out. It became so pure white, impossible to interpret it another way, that it is something really miracle. So that is how the Moses had trained by God when he goes to Pharaoh, present these miracles to him and the people around him, of course. And he drew forth his hand out of his bosom, and it was white for all to see. Yeah, للناظرين. So وهي بيضاء للناظرين. So look at the answer now. It's very interesting. Although the time is up, time is really up. But it's very interesting to see the answers. What the Pharaoh will do, we can study this next week, but let me read it out. Pharaoh said to the counselors around him, this man is a learned sorcerer. Still Still, he's resisting. He's resisting and trying because he realized that the counselors also were satisfied with what Moses demonstrated. He wants to again divert their attention and saying that it's not a miracle or something supported by the creator of the universe, created by the creator of the universe, so that only can God create this kind of things. The creator of the universe, owner of the universe can do that. But he says, counselors, now speaking to the counselors, he means to use his sorcery. Look at this, to drive you out of your behaving in such a way that, like terrorists, not to publish any scientific research results which are presented not in the form of evolution. They are prohibited to be, by whom? I don't know. Pharaoh is everywhere at every time. We will see. We will see now. Why do they do that? They divert the attention of the general public, don't give any chance for the believing scientists to present their discoveries with the idea that I cannot explain it in terms of this universe. There must be something else causing this to exist. Don't mention God even. No, something else. Refer something else other than nature itself. It is completely a big crime that you can be, not you can be, you will definitely be fired from your job. Go and ask people who are in the field. Is there anyone among us? You will, let me see. Yeah, I see one man at this among us. I think he is very well aware of it. He is in the field of science. I don't know whether he will say anything himself. Maybe he doesn't want to disclose himself. That's up to him. So he is the witness at this. There are many other of them. So we will study all these things, inshallah, all these political, ideological fight going on. We have to be extremely careful about it in order to learn what the truth is, how to defend the truth, and the reality of this age from the example of the Quran given to us through a history which happened 5,000, I don't know, years ago. Maybe 4 or 5,000 or 3, I don't know, I don't care. Thousands of years ago. Now, that is how we should read the stories of the Quran and find ourselves in the story of Moses, in the story of any prophet, practically experiencing in our life right now, inshallah, wherever we are. Wassalamu alaikum. Any comment or anything that we can. Osman, somebody says, okay, scientists and scientific publications are very prejudiced against any discourse that opposes the mainstream interpretations. Yep, that is the reality. Correct. Thank you. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم وآخر دعواهم أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. We have to be very careful that the Pharaoh of this age is scientism. We have to be very careful. That's why I keep reminding us here, be careful with the biased interpretation of science, scientists. Yes, certain scientists, not all. There are many, but they are just really suppressed. They cannot speak out. Otherwise, they will be thrown away from the field. It is the most how do you say, crime against the believers going on nowadays. We have to watch out. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.